Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pit Road Productions. It's going to be here for round 8 of the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the booth today, the one and only Mr. Rob Campbell. It's going to be an absolute belter. Certainly, we had the City Streets certainly last week. Definitely a lot of fun there. Very close, very tight racing circuit. Actually, surprisingly popular with a lot of the drivers. But this week is going to take us to one of the Zippy-approved, Princess-approved racing tracks of the IR. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an absolute belter. But I'll tell you what, Rob, let's get a couple of thoughts from you on this absolutely beautiful racetrack.
Yeah, it's one of my, I think you mentioned a few weeks back, it's one of your, to quote, princess approved tracks, Zippy. So it's definitely a fan favorite. It's a track that I enjoy too as well. It was nice to see iRacing actually make it one of the free content a few seasons back. It didn't have the greatest, participation before, but since they made it a free track, it's probably one of the most highest participated tracks in the service. It's got so many different layouts you can run on it, depending what kind of cars you're running. But they were running the full layout here tonight with the BMW M2s, which should make for some real great passing and overtaking opportunities. There's quite a few overtake opportunities at VIR, so I expect a real fun race here tonight.
Oh, it's definitely going to be one of my approved tracks. I never actually knew they'd made it a free track as well, so a good bit of iRacing famous expertise there from our very own Mr. Rob Campbell. But let's have a very quick look at the schedule before heading over to some points. Don't get me wrong, we've got a good portion of the way through so far. We started at Summit Point, went to Oran Park with Mugello, Alton Park, another Zippy approved track there, or Princess approved, take your pick, with Road America being there for round 5. As we had a look actually at round 6, ladies and gentlemen, just a couple of weeks ago, Mid Ohio and Belle Isle for round 6 and 7, VIR for round 8, and then round 9 will take us to Sebring with the finale, which I'm potentially going to be driving with a little bit of hope. Surprise, Rob, is going to be round 10 at Road Atlanta. But Rob, if you'd like to take a quick look here at the championship points.
I'd love to, Zippy. My screen is just paused here for a moment on your
I gotcha.
standings here, but I would gladly run that over to you. I believe most of our top contenders are towards the front of the field here again this week, so I suspect that we'll see them kind of heading towards the top of the standings too, as well as I'm just trying to bring up your stream here. And I can quickly go through the championship standings, but fortunately, it looks like it's not coming up for me. But I know Colin Denner was one of our top runners, along with the league host Ken Housel. But where they're standing in the standings, we'll have to take a look at that a little later on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me know if that's a little bit better for you there, Rob, as I've just put that back up. But DJ Alessandrini currently leading with 125 points, with Ken Housel in second on 98, very closely followed by Colin Denner in third with 95. And again, the battle continues to stay pretty spicy, certainly from second down to fifth place, with Michael Montello in fourth and Andrew Pallotta in fifth. And then there is more battles yet again from about sixth all the way down to about eighth, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Carwile, Mike Leader, not a Dennis, ladies and gentlemen, and Kevin Zhu fighting out for that sixth spot, with Will Long and Anthony Montello closing out your top 10. Well, it's definitely going to be a bit of a belter. Certainly, myself, I've very much enjoyed commentating this series, but let's see if we can get an onboard lap with one of the drivers. And you know what? This week, let's go for, we're going to take Colin Denner, ladies and gentlemen, as it looks like we're at the wrong, no, we're about halfway through the lap. So, Rob, we'll get ready and we'll get ready to do a little bit here of the of a little bit of a walk around if you want to do the honors in just a few short moments.
Yeah, it looks like we're picking up Colin Denner on screen here now as he's heading down the back straight. Even surprisingly known, it's named back street, but he's going to head up into probably one of the most fun parts of the track, Zippy, roller coaster, where you really got to get heavy onto the brakes. Real great overtaking opportunity because you get a lot of draft running up the straight if you're close enough to a car exiting out of the old oak tree corner, which no longer has an oak tree. I wish iRacing would have actually planted one in there just as a remembrance of the tree that was, but unfortunately they didn't do it, trying to stick to the real realistic layout of the track itself. But we're seeing Colin cross the line here. He's going to start a lap, head into turn 1. Again, another great overtaking opportunity. You got a nice long straight to get a run into turn 1, but you really got to get brave on the brakes to try and make a dive down the inside. Real heavy sweeping corner around turn 1 and 2. That's going to bring us into turn 3 and 4. Not really a great overtaking opportunity here, but easy to run out wide onto the right there. You touch a little bit of the grass of your rear tire, it's easy to lose the back end around there. Another tricky section here. Real slow section through here, Zippy. Easy to, again, to lose the back end of the car, and he's green and yellow curbs coming up here on the left and right can unsettle the car. The M2 has enough of a compliant suspension where I don't suspect any of our drivers really have to tend a lot to that tonight. But if you hit it with a formula type car, it's easy to bottom out through there as we head up through the section that they call the snake, and you can see why as it slithers around the midfield of the track. High speed left hand corner here into a heavy braking section here. Not really an overtaking opportunity unless you get real tucked up on the inside, but it's going to set you up. You want to get a great exit here to head down the back straight where we picked up Colin earlier on this lap.
Well, it's definitely the Haribo Gold Bear car is certainly having a bit of a blast here, and I definitely think this is going to be one of the most sketchy parts of the track as they're going to go up and over the hill. I believe it's called the roller coaster, if I remember rightly, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I do need to get more familiar with my corner names, and definitely taking a little bit of time to get there in the M2, but reaching the speeds of about 146 mile an hour, so definitely not a complete slouch by any means. In this last section, I do think is going to be an absolute pinnacle here for passing opportunities, but ladies and gentlemen, we've got to take a quick look at this.
Is that Mr. Bean?
Yes, it is. uh, I wasn't ready for that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, definitely an interesting helmet.
He's got the suit on too as well, the suit and tie for the race suit. Well done tonight.
I must admit, I'm quite impressed there, ladies and gentlemen, quite impressed. We're going to see what Michael Montello can do as he's currently out on a qualifying lap as well.
Yeah, Michael Montello currently sitting in 6th spot. He's our lead Montello brother here tonight, as we've seen the younger statesman, Michael, for the most part, being able to hand older brother Anthony a little bit of a shellacking most of the races here. So far, it looks like Michael holding the family championship on his back here right now as he's trying to put in a little bit quicker lap. Only 4/10, actually only 5/10 separating our top 7 out there tonight, Zippy. We see DJ Alessandrini up top, but Michael Montello only 4/10 back from there. So real tight qualifying the top of a field with this being an almost a 2-minute lap time around here. Being that close in lap times is really impressive.
Well, you say that. It looks like Michael Montello is indeed aborting that lap. So we're going to have a see out who is currently still running. And it looks like this gentleman is there. It's Franz Hansen. Certainly a very outrageous paint scheme on that car. The blue and orange is certainly not going to miss it in the parking lot, ladies and gentlemen, as he's going through one of my favorite sections here at VIR. Certainly this little left-hander here, you really got to make sure you don't get a little bit of understeer there. And definitely using as much as you can. And certainly you got to be very, very careful on the brakes. This double apex corner on the right here, definitely one that I've certainly struggled with. Never quite managed to get the mash of it, but it's crucial to maintain as much exit speed as you can as they're going to go down that back straight. And I think that's another pit road there with a little bit of a marshal stand as well. But certainly an absolute draft fest is going to happen on the back straight.
Yeah, it's definitely the prime overtaking opportunity as they head down the back straight into roller coaster. There is one of the alternate layouts where I think there's a little bit of a chicane in the middle of the back straight. I've only ran that once and it was a terrible layout, but there's so many. I got the track map up here. I think if I last count that I read, Zip, I think there's 5 or 6 different layouts to this track. So it just kind of shows you the vast size of the track. And I believe somebody coined the term back years ago that VIR was the Nordschleife of America. It's kind of the way it's laid out, kind of rolling through the hills, a lot of blind corners up and around, and very reminiscent of a lot of the corners at the Nordschleife.
Well, certainly it's the dream of many to drive around the Nürburgring. Myself, honestly, VIR would do more for me. The Nürburgring a little bit intimidating, in all honesty. Don't get me wrong. Those of you who experience racetracks a lot more than myself would certainly not be as phased. But, you know, with my limited track experience, I've done maybe 3 or 4 track days, albeit in my trusty Volvo C30, which honestly I couldn't even hear the roar of that 5-cylinder turbo engine. And actually Ford bought Volvo just to get hold of that engine, ladies and gentlemen. Fun fact, if you didn't know, or if you're a Volvo purist, there you go. Fun fact for you. But, you know, for me, VIR would be a lot more appealing. Certainly a little bit less real estate to try and conquer. And not only that, I do understand that there is chalets you can rent. So you can see them there in the background. You can actually rent those chalets. So what an absolutely fantastic way to spend a weekend.
Yeah, I think there was some renovations, I don't know, 10 to 15 years ago, Zippy, where they actually turned it into more what they call like a country club type of track layout where you, as you mentioned, you can rent the, not sure if they're hotels or chalets or cabins or what they are, but there's a few other tracks popping up in America that are kind of similar to like that. There's more and more popping up where you can kind of rent space and track space and garage space, just kind of host your race car there and go pick it up on the weekends and take it for a run. So be interesting to see if that model continues to carry on with the new tracks.
Well, certainly that would be something that I would definitely enjoy. And ladies and gentlemen, we've actually realized something before we went live on air today. So look at this. This looks a little bit different here today. But DJ Alessandrini is going to be starting at the front of the grid with Ken Housel in second. Colin Denner is going to be on row 2 with third place with Andrew Pilota in fourth. Dylan Newhart takes fifth alongside Michael Montello in sixth, with Kevin Zhu in seventh, Jack Christie in eighth, Will Long in ninth, and Franz Hansen in 10th.
Yeah, a lot of the usual suspects up there, and we find Ryan Carwile in 11th. Anthony Montello is going to start 12th. Then we'll have Wally in 13th, Reed Shannabrook in 14th, Mike Not a Dentist Leader in 15th, Adam Kobach in 16th, Will Robbins in 17th, Louis Lacey in 18th, Chris Harp in 19th, and Eddie Ketkarakis can round out the top 20.
And as we have a look at 21st, you can see Albert Go. He's there alongside Jonathan Crane in 22nd, with John Holloway in 23rd, with Kyle Lananziata in 24th, with Jarrett Page in 25th, and closing out the field, James Cavers in 26th.
And I say we get 26 cars in the grid tonight. Should be some good action here as they just waiting for the grid to, or the field to grid up in the pits. And it looks like we're going to have a full pace lap, unfortunately, Zippy. So we're going to be waiting a little bit to go green, but should be an exciting one here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Certainly. It's something I generally look forward to. I'm actually finding I'm a little bit lost without the my Monday night fix of WDCR, and it's fair to say I'm happy to keep that fix going. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to have a fix, why not make it sim racing? And certainly these guys are all very much involved in that, and it's great to see them out there. And I've got to say, a huge effort done to not only just come on out, but 26 car grid today. Absolutely incredible effort here. So huge thanks to all the drivers taking part, and not only that, to Ken Housel for being the league admin here at WDCR.
Yeah, definitely. Hats off to everybody showing up tonight. Looks like the grid's starting to pull away from pit lane, Zippy. So we're getting close to ringing the bell and starting the excitement. I believe we only got 2 more weeks left in this season after this one. So getting down to nitty gritty. I think I saw a post that either popped up in the iRacing League kind of comments section that they're starting to initiate the drop weeks. So we should start to see the standings getting even tighter next week in the championship.
Well, that's definitely something that I am looking forward to, ladies and gentlemen. As I just had a little bit of a blonde moment there as I'm wondering who on earth was leading the pack, and then the penny dropped. It was the pace car, ladies and gentlemen. So certainly a few screws loose here tonight at Pit Road Productions. Certainly, you know, maybe not the best idea to do jumping jacks in fear of hearing a couple of rattling sounds. But ladies and gentlemen, what an absolutely incredible field. Certainly some familiar favourites here. You see DJ Alessandrini at the front, Ken Housel, Colin Danner, and Andrew Pilota all close out the top 4. And actually, let's have a quick thing. Dylan Newhart usually gives us a pretty outrageous pain. See if we can have a look today. I think we had Dwayne The Rock Johnson last time. Do we have a new character for BIR?
Yeah, I believe he's rocking some Lance Stroll paint, meme paint this week. So representing Canada's most terrible F1 driver, Lance
second
Stroll.
most. I'd say Latifi was definitely worse.
But he didn't hang around long. Oh!
That's fantastic.
Oh, hey, it's funny enough. I think they're coming out with a Plankton movie. I saw an advertisement for the other day mentioning SpongeBob, but that is classic. Is that Dylan's helmet?
Oh, yeah. He lives in a pineapple under the sea. That was your cue. That was your cue, Rob. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to join in singing SpongeBob SquarePants for the next time we see that helmet, by all means, give us a shout in the chat. We'll get you in the booth. By all means, feel free to absolutely rock that. We'll have some good fun with it. But, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely outrageous paint. I've got to be curious why on earth you would pick Lance Stroll to put on your BMW. I don't know. To me, that just means he's a walking hazard. But I do wonder how many more of these helmets are we going to have to keep an eye on, as DJ Alessandrini is currently leading them down the back straight.
Yeah, DJ's just gone with the boring Red Bull paint scheme. We're gonna have to downvote that one, Zippy.
Well, definitely could be something to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, it's it's not what we necessarily had in mind, but it's you know, it's all good fun. Some people going for the more, you know, professional approach, others going for the more humorous approach, and certainly we tend to go for the more humorous approach, I think, here at Pit Road Productions, ladies and gentlemen. But we are going to see, it looks like the overlay has actually decided to eat the bed for the minute, so just give us a second here, we're going to get that reloaded in.
Yeah, no problem. We've got the field heading into roller coaster, so we're going to be getting underway shortly. We should see the pace car make a sharp right after another couple of corners. Looks like the field's starting to bunch up behind the pace car. DJ Alessandrini and Ken Housel going to lead them around to the green. See Ken Housel, I think this is the first time we've seen him up on the front row in a couple races. So Ken usually strong, Colin Denner usually strong up there, Andrew Plata, Dylan Newhart. So a lot of our top racers so far this season at the front of the field here, Zippy is. We're just about to get underway and waiting for the green. Looks like the green's dropped. DJ getting a strong sprint off the line. Ken Housel now having to fight with Colin Denner for second spot. DJ's going to hold first off into turn one. Looks like we might go 3 wide. A lot of things about making it 3 wide. He's going to back off. Montello to his outside, trying to make a move around the outside. But so far, Ken Housel, the big loser on this one, he's going to drop 2 spots down, as it looks like Pilata trying to make a move around the outside. Housel going to fight back on the inside to regain 3rd spot. So a little bit of moving and shaking in the top 5, but they're underway, and we're heading into 35 minutes here at VIR.
Well, it's certainly an interesting fight so far. You can see DJ Alessandrini, on my end, he's currently showing it in 4th place, but I think something may indeed be broken because he's very blatantly there in first with Colin Denner in second, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Ken Housel looking to try and apply some pressure as they're generally going all single file. You can see Dylan Newhart trying to have a little bit of a crook there on Michael Montello. Not quite able to get it done. Definitely catching a little bit of curb there. As you see, looks like Kevin Zhu looking to try and make a move.
Yeah, Kevin Zhu, we see him qualifying up near the front here tonight, Zippy. Guy that we normally see involved in a lot of the action, so nice to see him starting up front instead of mid-pack here tonight. We'll see what kind of damage he's able to inflict on the standings and try and move up, as he's currently trying to put a lot of pressure on the back of Dylan Newhart in that terrible Lance Stroll paint scheme.
Well, certainly, definitely not my favorite paint scheme on the grid, but certainly some good battles that are happening so far. You can see there, it looks like it's all going to be in the med pack, but right now, I've got to say, Colin Denner is keeping Ken Housel keeping DJ Alessandrini very honest. DJ not yet been able to make a runaway. Ken Housel very much in pursuit, though, and chasing down Denner with Andrew Pilata very much in tow.
Yeah, Plata putting a lot of pressure on our league owner, Ken Housel, as we drop back here. We're picking up a battle between, that's Ryan Carwell and Wally Washington behind him. Montello looking to the inside. Looks he might have had a slowdown. Anthony Montello having to pull off. That's going to cost him a number of spots. Right now he's dropped back to 14th, 15th. He's just bleeding time, but Ryan Carwell is going to pick that spot up. He's going to move up into 11th. He's got Will Long just up ahead of him. So he'll be starting to try and put a little pressure on Will Long, but he's trying to hold off Wally right now. Wally with a jump up 1 spot from where he qualified. Right now, everybody kind of in and about where they qualified. A couple drivers up a couple spots, a couple drivers down a couple spots, but no real big movers and shakers at this point, Zippy.
Well, certainly, you know, it's definitely been an interesting race so far, keeping it clean, and certainly they've got to remember as well, they're quite aggressive on the tyres here with so many high-speed corners, and at such speed, you know, you've got to really manage those tyres. Certainly, we've seen it be pretty influential so far, but right now, the lead 4 is starting to pull away. Dylan Newhart pulling back slightly, as that looks like Jack Chrissie's trying to make a move there on Kevin Zhu.
Yeah, Jack Chrissy making a move. Chrissy, a guy that we normally see up in the front. We didn't see him last week at Detroit Belle Isle, so Jack Chrissy back again this week. Saw him take a win in our special feature race of the season earlier on, where we had the Cadillacs and the what else did we have out there? Cadillacs and the Porsche Cup. Yeah, we saw Jack Chrissy take the win in that one. Or as it looks like, we've got Pilata with a slowdown. Unfortunately for him, he's dropped back all the way into 8th spot. That's going to promote Kevin Zhu and Dylan Newhart up. You see Kevin Zhu giving Newhart a push down the back straight, trying to get them to go, trying to open up a gap between them and Jack Chrissy behind. But Chrissy was close enough to take some of the draft off those two and not allow them to get away, as he and Michael Montello refusing to let Dylan Newhart and Kevin Zhu sneak away.
Well, certainly these guys are trying everything they can to try and make their way through the field. You can see there Dylan Newhart is leading that pack. And it looks like, you know, as you head further up the field, you got... Actually, somebody's missing here. 1, 2, 3. What happened to Andrew Pilota? He's dropped right back.
He had a slowdown and he dropped back to the back behind Michael Montello.
My apologies there. Ladies and gentlemen, I am trying to get the overlay back, and it certainly, of all the times it chose to... for lack of a better word, shit the bed, it chose now, ladies and gentlemen. So certainly I'm trying to get that figured out, get them standings back up for you. But as we keep going with the action, you can see there Kevin Zhu looking to do everything he can against Dylan Newhart.
Yeah, Kevin Zhu putting a lot of pressure on the back of Newhart. Newhart opened up a little bit of a gap here between them as they head into the heart of the snake here, I guess, to start this one off. But Kevin Zhu not ready to let him go. They've opened up a bit of gap over Jack Chrissy. We saw Chrissy trying to stay on the tail of that battle, but Newhart and Zhu starting to eke out a little bit as they're trying to chase down Ken Housel, Colin Denner, and DJ Alessandrini up ahead in the battle for the top 3 spots, although it looks like Ken Housel is falling them back a little bit off Colin Denner up ahead. He's about 2.2 seconds back of Colin Denner. Denner staying strong with Alessandrini up ahead, though, only 4/10 separating between them, but looks like through that last section, Housel was able to close the gap a little bit on Denner. Now they've got a 3-car pack again up front, trying to pull away from this 3-car, and it was 5-car pack moments ago for P4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But now it looks like Newhart, Zhu, and Chrissy able to open it up. Chrissy thought about diving into the inside of Zhu, but thought better of it. Stayed in the draft. If they can work together, they might be able to chase down the leaders up front. But right now we see Pilota trying to put a whole lot of pressure on Michael Montello. That's a battle for 7th spot. We saw Pilota have to serve a slowdown. Lost himself about 5 or 6 spots. He's trying to work back up into that position. But he's got Franz Hansen slowly catching up on the back of this pack. If they continue to battle, we'll see Hansen up there in no time.
Well, certainly it's been an interesting battle so far, and there is people moving throughout the field, ladies and gentlemen, not yet able to get some big moves done. As I do see, it looks like currently Kevin Zhu, on my end, he's been shown has been up 2 places, but it's fair to say that I definitely do not trust that at this point. But we've got a couple of packs emerging. Certainly, DJ Alessandrini, he's out in the front right now. Colin Denner in second, keeping him honest. Ken Housel's there. Dylan Newhart leading the second pack of a couple of cars. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars before you get there to Franz Hansen, who's kind of on his own a little bit with Will Long leading another pack. But currently Ryan Carwile, we've seen this guy fight. He's keen along with Wally right behind. And it looks like Mike Leader as well, this time going at it with Anthony Montello.
Yeah, we've got a couple of packs that are kind of formed up here trying to... it's almost like if you're familiar with watching Tour de France type of cycling where you have the lead pack and then you have the peloton trying to chase them down. That's what we got going on right now. We got the lead pack of DJ Alessandrini, Colin Denner, and Jack Chrissy out front, and then we've got the secondary, I guess they call them the chase pack of Dylan Newhart, Kevin Zhu, Jack Chrissy, and Andrew Pilota and the likes of those drivers trying to chase them down. But we see Montello looking into the inside of Leader there. Leader trying to battle him off. Going to drop back. I believe this is Chris Harp that we're picking up. And I'm not sure who the white car is up ahead, but it's a little further back in the back. We got battles all throughout this one, all across the track. You love to see it.
Oh, it looks like something's just got really funky there, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies. I'm trying to get the thing back. And of course, it's choosing to be a little less cooperative, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to try and return. There we go. See if we can get some timing tower back, ladies and gentlemen. Just try to go to the previous round.
Kevin Zhu and Jack Chrissy as it be.
Oh.
Looks like Kevin Zhu off track there, but I also saw Jack Chrissy on my screen here dropping down the standings.
Well, here's that pack, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see exactly what happened. You can see there's Kevin Zhu, and that's Jack Chrissy right behind. But, oh, a little bit of a spin there from Zhu. Montello gets caught up in it as well. Chrissy goes wide, and absolute chaos there. I did say it was going to be an accident hotspot, and it's fair to say the commentator's curse has indeed delivered.
Yeah, you've struck gold on the curse, but we're riding along with Kevin Zhu. He's dropped all the way back into 18th, unfortunately for him, as he had to wait for majority of the field to go by, down 11 spots from where he qualified. So he's probably going to be seeing a little bit of red mist, trying to chase back up through that one. But see Jack Chrissy just out of camera shot there too as well. The 2 cars involved back a ton of spots in the field, and this one they'll be looking to try and recoup that as soon as I can. We still got a long ways to go. We're not even 10 minutes into this one, so all kinds of action kicking off, but plenty of time for those guys to recover. So pick back up here with Ryan Carwell trying to chase down Will Long in that red car up ahead. On board here with Carwell, as we can see Michael Montello and Franz Hansen not too far ahead. If these two kind of hold their battle for a little bit, trying to work together with that 4-car pack, they might be able to chase down Montello and Hansen up ahead. That would be a battle for 6th and 7th too as well.
Well, certainly some good battles happening throughout, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly been an interesting race indeed. You can see there Montello further up the field, ladies and gentlemen, just managing to hold on to the back of Franz Hansen right there. And you see right now, if we take a quick look at the lead pack, this pack's still again, it looks like Ken Housel trying to make a move on Colin Denner.
Yeah, Ken Housel stayed, those three have kind of stayed tucked in for the most part as they'd be trying to pull away from the rest of the field. They've got 4.5 seconds now over the secondary pack led by Newhard, but looks like they're kind of working together. I'm not sure if DJ is kind of purposely trying to tow them around so they can pull away from the cars behind, but they've stayed nose to tail throughout this one, and nobody really trying to make a move. Kind of working together, trying to move away from the pack the best they can, but looks like Dylan Newhard's opened up a bit of a gap between he and Pilata. See, just out of screenshot there, I didn't see Pilata tucked in behind them, but looks like Newhard got that gap now, about 1 second between he and Pilata. Our secondary pack starting to get fractured to see if they can start to group up again and resume the chase down of our 3 leaders up ahead.
Well, certainly they are going to have to keep pursuing, ladies and gentlemen, as they are trying everything they can. It looks like there's some action happening back with Reed Shannonbrook. Yes, there is. You can see Wally's gone a little bit wide. Is this going to be exactly what Shannonbrook needs? You can see Anthony Montello looking to try and capitalize that on as well. But Wally able to hold on. Montello in a hot pursuit, and Shannonbrook walks away and puts himself onto the 10th step from the podium.
Yeah, Shannonbrook gets himself into the top 10 now. Although he might be able to hold off a little bit. Wally and Anthony Montello looks like they're going to battle. Anthony Montello trying to find a way around Wally, but Wally doing well right now to make that car as wide as possible. To see just up ahead, look like Ryan Carwell dropping a tire off into the grass, but he's able to hold on to it as he's still battling with Will Long. They're battling it out for 8th spot. So it looks like the Montello-Wally battle is going to have to catch up a little bit here if they're looking to pick up any more spots. You can see there, not much gap between the cars. A little bit of a nose-to-tail kind of procession down the back straight from our, say, P4 all the way back to 11th, 12th place. Not a whole lot of gaps in between them, but nobody really close enough to make a move.
Well, certainly you can see very interesting battles going on indeed, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Montello not able to make a move up on Wally. Wally holding off very, very well. It looks like Albert Go, sorry, he looks like he's having a little bit of fun. Chris Harp, not yet near him. Certainly we're used to seeing these guys have a little bit of a play. Definitely some bit of damage there on the front of Chris Harp's car. Further back, Jack Christie, so he's down 11 spots. Obviously got caught up earlier in that incident. Definitely not what he wanted to happen, ladies and gentlemen. But it looks like Ryan Carwell is going at it, this time with Will Long.
Yeah, these two have been battling for the majority of the last 10 minutes anyways. As we see Carwell just ahead of Long trying to attack Carwell, all the while trying to hold off Reed Shannonbrook in behind. Shannonbrook we saw make a move not too long ago to move himself up into the top 10 as Will Long's going to go wide. Oh, he's going to lose the back end. Unfortunately, that's going to cost him a ton of spots. Fortunately for Will Long, we saw him battling real tight with Ryan Carwell, but he's going to drop all the way back. Looks like just dropping down the field into 12th or 13th now. He's just unfortunately got nowhere to pull back out. You can see the look of disdain on the helmet. The driver's just anxious. He pulled a Lance Stroll there, move there, and Lance Stroll would know all about that shame at that moment. But Reed Shannonbrook back on track, Will Long back on track, not where he wanted to be.
Well, it looks, oh my gosh, that's a big off there from Wally. Wally's gone, Anthony Montello's gone. Definitely not what they had in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Able to keep the cars on the move. But I say that, Montello right back off again. I do wonder if there's something else going on that car. Maybe got the tires a little bit warm. You see him kicking up a little bit of dust there. Great news for Shannonbrook. He's moved up his way into 9th, and it looks like Andrew Pilota's looking to have a go at Dylan Newhard.
Yeah, Andrew Pilata right now might be our driver of the day is on his recovery. We saw him up in the, I believe he qualified 3rd or 4th, had that slowdown, dropped him all the way back outside of the top 10. Now he's working his way back up again. fighting with Newhart for 4th place. So he's gone from the front to the back and trying to make his way back up to the front. They've got a long way to go to get back up to the top 3, but they're going to fight and claw their way back up there. It looks like we're seeing Kevin Zhu here making a move that's going to move him up into 15th as he gets around Chris Harp in the Row Motor Oil paint scheme. Like Harp might have a little bit of damage on the front end of that bumper. That BMW is going to be a little bit of aero deficient as Colin Denner starting to put a little pressure on DJ Alessandrini up front.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can see here the battle is steaming up at the front. Ken Housel in third, Colin Denner in second, and DJ Alessandrini in first. Certainly, we've not been able to see him break away like we usually would, ladies and gentlemen. And I've got to say, I'm absolutely loving that. I think it's great that somebody is challenging not just the championship leader, but ladies and gentlemen, the guy with 7,400 IR is being held very accountable here by about 3,900 from Colin Denner and 4,900 from Ken Housel. So certainly some very much elite drivers here in the iRacing service. And it's good to see they are managing to stay together there. Lost a little bit of time there than 73 over the 61, but right now Ken Housel doing everything he can. They're on the top spot for the podium. They've just got to keep it clean, but we're going to return back to Kevin Zhu because it looks like this time he wants to have a go at Will Robbins.
Yeah, we saw them battling for the most part, Zippy, but hopefully we can get the time and scoring up here shortly as I'm just working in the background to get that going. And I'll let you know as soon as I do.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a little bit of a hybrid system here, ladies and gentlemen. Generally, I'm not a fan of hybrids, but you got to do what you got to do. And I had a fantastic idea to try and save this, save the timing tower, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see if it works. Certainly, in theory, it should. But I've got to go back to here because Dylan Newhart is alongside with Andrew Pilota. Pilota has managed to snake ahead. You can see Franz Hansen in the background. And right now, Pilota puts himself on the 4th spot. Dylan Newhart, the Lance Stroll paint job, not quite able to get it done. And you can see here a very disgruntled look on the face. Pilota doing everything he can. He's certainly going to be victim of the slipstream. Now, I do wonder, is this going to be the opportunity that Franz Hansen has been looking for? He's got Michael Montello about 6/10 of a second behind him as they're going down the start-finish straight. And we did say earlier that turn 1 will be a prime passing opportunity. Is this going to be exactly what Dylan Newhart needs to try and get that back? He's not gone this time, but certainly closed in the gap, ladies and gentlemen. You can see there, Newhart just 3/10 of a second behind the 96 of Andrew Pilota. And you can see there in the background as well, it looks like Michael Montello, he's come back into the battle, the golden green Fina car, now up on the rear end of Franz Hansen, ladies and gentlemen, doing everything he can. And you know what, Franz Hansen has now made this 2-pack, a 3-pack, and then a 4-pack, ladies and gentlemen. Further back, you can see Ryan Carlisle. He's always wanting to get into a battle, and he's got to make up about 2 seconds if he wants to try and recover that. But right now, a 5-way pack, definitely a little bit of damage there on the front of the 65 machine, but Andrew Pilota leading the 4th place back. We take a look further back. You see Kevin Zhu, he's gone a little bit on the outside line now. I thought that was going to be over as Albert is looking to fight him there. Albert currently up 7 positions, ladies and gentlemen, doing everything he can. And Chris Harp looking to try and sneak it on the inside of Will Robbins. Are they going to try and go 3 wide through here? Ladies and gentlemen, thankfully, cooler heads have prevailed. See, you got Albert at the front of the pack, Will Robbins behind, Chris Harp, and is that going to open up to Jack Christie looking to make a recovery run? You can see there, if my comrade is here, he's currently trying to help us get this back on the move, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to try one more thing. See if this just indeed return it. And I'm even going to close my overlay here just to see. Okay, Rob, you should be driving on your end, sir. See if you can put something up. I do wonder if OBS itself is, for lack of better words, crapped out. But if I restart that, we lose the stream for a minute. So, you know, weighing up the pros and cons at this point.
Yeah, it's not picking up on my end here, Zippy. I just get locked up.
Okay, so I do wonder if something is going on with the overlay software itself, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly it is out of our control. It was working earlier completely flawlessly. And at this point, it's chosen to, for lack of better words, shit the bed, ladies and gentlemen. So certainly it's a bit like my iRacing career. So we are going to try once more. If not, we're going to get very creative, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very creative. It's going to be a on-the-fly job. But right now, if we return to the lead battle, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that DJ Alessandrini has been able to pull away a little bit. He's about 9/10 of a second clear. This lead pack spread out quite a bit here. Colin Denner, he's got Ken Housel hot in tow, but I'm going to go back here to somebody we haven't seen too much today, and it's Eddie Kedarakis. He's currently resting in 13th place and looking to try and apply some pressure there to the 243 of Kevin Zhu. Multiple battles happening through the field as it looks like Jack Chrissie's trying to make a move. There's a little bit of a wiggle there from Chris Harp. Is this going to be the opportunity that Chrissy needs? He's currently there. He's closing in, but this section of the track certainly not encouraging to place to try and make a pass. But it looks like Chrissy putting a little bit of a nose in there, trying to psych out the number 462 of Chris Harp. What can he do? Can he fight it? Certainly myself, I would maybe try and force it too wide going into this double apex right-hander at the end of this twisty section. Certainly you can do it, but it will compromise your exit speed. Certainly some passes can be made there as it looks like Harp getting a very outside line. Albert on the defensive there. Is this going to be what Chrissy needs? You can see him getting backed up a little bit there. Not quite the exit. And Chris Harp has gone around, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely booked it. Thankfully able to avoid the almost able to avoid the wall. Definitely not what Chris Harp was looking for, as that is going to remove him from the battle. And now Jack Chrissy going to side by side with Albert as they're going to go up and over the hill.
Yeah, it was unfortunate to see Albert go off track there, but Jack Chrissy, we saw him involved with, I believe that was Kevin Zhu early on, so he's on a bit of a recovery run here. Zippy trying to make his way back through the standings here, but he's got a battle to do it, and he's starting to run out of time as we're on the back half of the race here now. So unfortunately, he's running out of time. Time is the enemy, but his counterpart that was involved in that wreck not too far up ahead, Kevin Zhu, 2 spots ahead of Jack Chrissy right now after he got around Eddie Kekarakis, or sorry, as he got around Albert and Go. Next up is Eddie Kekarakis, but he's a bit of a way up the track. He's about 3 seconds up the track. I'm not sure if Jack Chrissy is going to have time to chase him down.
Well, certainly he's going to have to try very, very hard. But right now, it looks like Michael Montello is in hot pursuit of Franz Hansen, ladies and gentlemen. You can see there the car spreading out a little bit. Going to double check on that lead battle. You can see DJ Alessandrini has pulled away by about 7/10 of a second, ladies and gentlemen, with Colin Denner and Ken Housel in hot pursuit. Certainly these guys are not going to be defeated, but we're going to head back to Will Robbins because it looks like he's going to try and make a move on Albert. Certainly Albert, he just got beaten by Jack Chrissy, certainly one of the front runners with the most unfortunate luck, I've got to admit, here in the WDCR Racing Series. But you can see there, an absolutely fantastic exit there from Will Long. He's looking to make a recovery drive, and Jonathan Crane is going to be next on the pecking order.
Yeah, Jonathan Crane probably not enjoying a whole lot of what he's seen in his rearview mirror. Would much rather try and focus out the front as he tries to chase down the cars up ahead, but right now he's got a mirror full of that red BMW behind him, having to deal with trying to defend him. It's always drop a little bit. Oh, not sure if we had a bit of a connection issue there. Kind of blinked out as we lost him in the corner, but Jonathan Crane doing the best he can to hold on to that position. He's going to try and chase down the car ahead.
Well, we have certainly seen, actually Will Long is pretty consistent there, having a couple of connection drops, but thankfully able to keep the connection robust enough to keep racing here. But Jonathan Crane, from what I remember, is a newcomer to iRacing. I gotta say, he's doing absolutely fantastic. The BMW M2, certainly not the easiest car to drive, but he's doing everything he can. You see that he's in hot pursuit there of Will Robbins ahead. You see Albert having a little bit of a tail wiggle further up, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, definitely a huge apologies to those of you watching at home. The software has indeed, for lack of a better word, shit the bed, and we've tried everything in God's green earth to try and resolve it.
Unfortunately, these things happen, but we've got a hell of a battle still going on here. Jonathan Crane trying to chase down Will Robbins and Albert Go up ahead, but that is a battle for 15th place. So it doesn't really matter where they are in the field here, Zippy. They're going to battle tooth and nail throughout this one, but as we see them working their way in through turn 1, looks like Jonathan Crane going to try and make a move around the inside of Will Robbins. Looks like he can get that spot taken away. Robbins trying to fight back on the outside. He's going to take that spot, and Crane almost goes off track as to back out of the throttle a little bit to gather that one up. Looks like they're going to touch. Oh, they're rubbing a little bit to get it gathered up. That could have went wrong in about 3 different ways, but fortunately they managed to hold on to it, Zippy, and they're going to continue on. But it's like Will Long getting a little patient in the back end, gives Jonathan Crane a little bit of a boop on the rear bumper.
Well, certainly Robin is indeed racing, ladies and gentlemen. I admit I do enjoy watching some Some clips of the old British touring cars, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, those guys do not mind trading paints. Certainly, the iRacing paint service there. Certainly, you know, keep them busy with a 24, 25 car grade, 26 car grade even. And as you see, Reed Shannonbrook, actually, he's dropped to 26th place. So something definitely happened to him, ladies and gentlemen. Rob, I don't know if you can see that on your end. Certainly, it's not what he had in mind. But I also see Jarrett Page jump to the pits on lap 9. So definitely some interesting stuff. But right now, the biggest battle, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, is indeed back here. It's a three-way fight for, let me see here, 16th place.
Yeah, these guys haven't given up the ghost on the battle. They're still going to continue on and carry on, but looks like Jonathan Crane trying to put a lot of pressure on Will Robbins. Saw Robbins having to fend him off earlier, then Will Long gave Crane a little bit of a boot, but they all gathered it back up, continued on. Could have went wrong. They managed to gather it up. See the back end of those cars starting to slide through roller coasters. They're coming up off camber, kind of blind corners, up and down the hill, holding on to it. The tires are starting to give out on these cars. We've mentioned it before in the past on this broadcast and other ones. The tires on these cars are basically Vulcan hockey pucks. They're so stiff, so hard. They really don't have much give. And it's very easy to heat them up and lose grip very quickly on this car.
Well, certainly that is definitely something to keep in mind. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be right back. We're going to try restarting the streaming software and see if that can indeed give us back what we need. So just bear with us. We're going to be right back in just a short moment. And we should be back again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're going to try this and see if that brings it back. Certainly, we've pretty much tried everything else, ladies and gentlemen. Rob, by all means, what's happening here in the race right now?
Well, when that happened, Zippy, I lost your stream here, so...
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm assuming that Jonathan Crane, Will Robbins, and Will Wrong are still battling it out, as I'm just kind of looking at the broadcast here on YouTube. It looks like they're still battling it out, so that battle still rages on as we're starting to get near end of the race in this one. So there's starting to be time's starting to be a little bit of an enemy as we pick back up with the leaders. Looks like DJ managed to open up a half-second gap over Colin Denner and Ken Housel. We see Ken Housel putting a ton of pressure on the back of that Haribo Bear paint scheme BMW M2. Housel, the chief steward admin of the league, trying to put some pressure on Colin Denner, one of the hot shoes in the league. Colin, and we've seen him up towards the front, won a couple races, looking to try and hold on to his middle step on the podium here, trying to keep Ken Housel onto the bottom step of the podium. So far doing so well, as it looks like he's opened a bit of a gap over Ken Housel as they head into the snake. See if Ken's able to use the draft and kind of snake his way back up to Denner through the snake, as we jump back here to Michael Montello as he's trying to put pressure on, I believe that is...
Frans Hansen, sir. Frans Hansen in the number 44 Hansen, machine. Yes. So certainly Hansen's having a good day. It's showing me that he's currently up 4 positions. You can see there Montello doing everything he can, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I've got a feeling I'm going to have to start charging myself a loony every time I say everything he can. As Reese would say, gently does it, but it looks like Montello looking to try and make a move on the outside. It's brave, ladies and gentlemen, as they're heading around that right-hander. A little bit damaged there on the front of Montello's car. And they're going to be going down the back straight, ladies and gentlemen. So certainly not able to get it done straight away, but the draft is going to be huge. You can see Ryan Carwile in the background. He's currently out of the picture for this, but is this the chance that Carwile needs? You know, you can see there, he's a good couple of car lengths back. It's about 4/10 of a second, and that gap is increasingly closing, ladies and gentlemen, which sounds like a little bit of a contradiction, but certainly, you know, can he get him doing in the braking? And he's absolutely way late on the brakes, closes that gap right down, ladies and gentlemen, as they're heading down the later part of the track. A couple of bits of leaves kicked up. Frans Hansen positioning that car very, very well, and not really anywhere Michael Montello can go. He's going to have to try and make a move using the slipstream going down the start-finish straight.
Yeah, Hansen doing well to make the car as wide as possible to hold Michael Montello behind him, the younger Montello of the two brothers, but we'll see how that plays out as we jump back up here. I believe this is battle between, I believe that's Albert Go and Will Long. It looks like Albert Scott back up to the back of Will Long. We saw Will Long earlier battling with Jonathan Crane and Will Robinson, but it looks like Albert Go has been able to sneak around Jonathan Crane and Will Robinson as well. I'm not sure if something happened between them during the battle.
Here we go.
He's up there. It's like Michael Montel looking around the inside of Franz Hansen. Hansen's going to have to go wide, but he'll have the inside for the next
Ooh.
couple corners. They're using all the track and the grass, both on track. Looks like they touched a little bit. Montello able to hold on to it. Franz is going to give up the ghost, tuck in behind. He'll try and use the draft as they snake up through the snake to try and make a move into Oak Tree. But as it stands right now, Michael Montello is going to take P6 away from Franz Hansen.
I do wonder as well. I'm actually quite surprised. I thought Hansen would have got a slowdown for that move, but able to keep it in check. But certainly for now, Montello's got him beat. But we're going to go back to the front because it looks like Denner and Housel are yet again going at it, ladies and gentlemen. Just 0.3 per second in it as we are getting nearer and nearer the end of this race. Not quite there yet. We're just about to cross the half-an-hour mark.
Yeah, we've got that gap now, 0.2 between Denner and Housel. So as they continue to battle, that's allowed DJ to open up 1.3 seconds ahead of them up ahead. We saw the majority of the race, these three cars were able to stay pretty much nose to tail, but as the battle's kind of raged here between Denner and Housel, they're dropping back. DJ loves to see that in his rearview mirror, but Colin's hating to see that out of his front windshield as he's having to focus more on his mirrors, try and keep Ken Housel in behind him. So this also has championship implications. These are two of our drivers that were in the top 2 to 5 that were separated by only about 3 or 4 points. Sippy, I caught the standings at the last second, so real tight at the top of the championship standings. So these guys aren't going to want to give up or lose any spots if they don't absolutely have to. So we may have a lap car starting to come into a bit of a situation where it looks like he ducked off the track to allow the leaders through. Nice gentlemanly thing to do. We appreciate that. But that might have been Kyle Alonziata that we give Kyle the slow clap for letting the leaders through and not getting involved in the battle.
Well, again, that battle continues to carry on. As you see there, Colin Denner doing everything he can. Let's take a quick look at his helmet. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bean is back. As Ken Housel, certainly if he sees that helmet, I don't think he will be too keen to make a pass. Certainly, I would be approaching with caution, but Housel has been right on the bumper of Denner for quite some time now and doing everything he can. Oh my gosh, that's another loony, ladies and gentlemen. And it looks like, oh, I thought Housel was going to go for it there. And Denner's gone wide. This is exactly what Housel needed, and he's managed to apply enough pressure. Housel slingshots himself onto the second step of the podium.
Yeah, I think Ken had a feeling if he kept the pressure on Denner that he was going to be able to take and eventually force him off. And that's what happened. But it looks like Colin was able to gather it back up quick enough. He's going to try and chase down Housel back again. But we jump back here to the battle between Franz Hansen and Michael Montello. That's a battle for 6th spot. We saw Montello make the move around a couple laps ago. But Hansen gets a little squirrely heading out of Oak Tree, trying to apply the power to get into the draft of Montello. He's trying to do everything he can to close that gap, but fortunately right now for him that Montello is trying to stay up ahead. And we see it looks like Ryan Carwile starting to lurk into the back of the camera shot there. He's getting ever so close. He might be running out of time to get involved in this battle as we only have about 3.5 4 minutes to go in this one, and it's only going to be a couple more laps, so Carwile might be running out of time to try and get into this battle for 6th spot.
Checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of a surprise here for us. Obviously, we've been trying the whole time to get the damn overlay working, but DJ Alessandrini took the win with Ken Housel in second and Colin Denner in third. But we're going to go back to this battle because it looks like it may indeed come down to the line. You see Hansen with a little bit of a slipstream. I don't think it's going to be enough. Montello is going to absolutely be able to hold on to that. We're going to keep going here because it looks like Wally is going to go at it. And this time it's going to be with Anthony Montello almost side by side. And yep, not quite able to get it done was Montello. Absolutely incredible racing. We'll head back here as well. Will Robbins, whereabouts is he? He's got Albert ahead of him by about 0.4 per second, and they're in the last couple of corners here at VIR. A little bit of an upset car there from Albert, but it doesn't look like Will Robbins is going to be able to do much about it. Certainly a little bit too far back. Actually, Albert there gaining 5 positions throughout the race. So speaking of positions gained, ladies and gentlemen, from what I can see right now, take a pinch of salt, but this gentleman here, Eddie Kedarakis, I believe was the hard charger with 6 positions gained.
Yeah, nicely done by Eddie Kedarakis, and I believe Albert Go picked up 5 spots too as well. The car we were focusing on the end, so nice run by 2 of those drivers that are, I believe, we were told, fairly new to iRacing this season or the previous season. So well done by both of them moving up through the field nicely tonight.
Well, definitely a very interesting race indeed as well. And I do again apologize for the lack of overlay. Certainly, I've literally tried everything, and then I've tried some more creative things, and absolutely nothing I can do about it. So definitely a little bit frustrated here. But Rob, see if you got the result come through on your end, because right now I think there's two cars running. John Holloway, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, there you go. I think that may have been him that just crossed the line. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, in what looks like a HKS livery. And we still have this gentleman here as well. We got a little bit of screen time of him earlier. That's Kyle Lanunziata. He's currently resting in 22nd place. Certainly Mike Leader as well. He dropped back off. He's down 10 positions, and Reed Shannonberg. Oh. That's maybe not the right line, but gotta say, he's held it, though. Great save there from Kyle Lanunziata. And yeah, I think it's fair to say he's bailed out of that one, ladies and gentlemen. But let's see if the results will show. Maybe it's just the timing tower.
There's a little bit of BMW rally heritage there on that move, Zippy, but
I got nothing on the center up.
Yeah, I got nothing, but it looks like DJ Alessandrini took the win. Kevin Housel in second. Colin Denner took final spot on the podium. Andrew Pilata in fourth, Dylan Newhard in fifth, Michael Montello brought it home sixth, Franz Hansen in seventh, Ryan Carwell in eighth. Wally moves up into ninth, up 4 spots on the day. Anthony Montello into 10th.
And as we have a look at 11th, it was Kevin Zhu with Adam Kobach in 12th. Jack Chrissy managed to have a little bit of a bad day today, but managed to get back up to 13th with Eddie Ketakarakis, potentially the hard charger, in 14th. Will Long took 15th with Albert in 16th, Will Robbins in 17th, and Louis Alessi. Didn't actually get to see too much of him today. He was back in 18th with Jonathan Crane up 3 positions in 19th, and Chris Harp taking 20th.
Yeah, and then we had John Holloway in 21st and Kyle Lanunziata we saw at the end there crossing the line. Then a few of our drivers, unfortunately, didn't make it past the first lap. Jarrett Page, James Gathers, Mike Leader, and Reed Shannonbrook.
Well, definitely a very interesting race indeed. Certainly VIR definitely delivered on the action, but we have managed to get into the booth here. Colin Denner. Certainly, you must be absolutely kicking yourself, Colin, for that little bit of an excursion there in the final closing moments of that race.
Yeah, it was a good race all the way through. It was fun chasing DJ and running from Ken, but yeah, on that last lap, I knew he was going to be close, and I was going to have to pick a spot to really defend hard. And coming up out of the S's, I thought he was going to hit me. Was the only reason I let off the brakes and went off. But yeah, I was definitely a little annoyed about that. But it was a good race.
Well, certainly it can happen, ladies and gentlemen. And certainly, you know what? A third place is definitely nothing to shake a stick at. You guys managed to actually keep DJ Alessandrini very much on his toes for a good portion of that as well. And realistically, you know, this guy is like an 8K 7400 IR driver. You know, so at the end of the day, that's definitely something I would be very proud of for sure. But I've got to say, Colin, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Definitely the usual suspects, my family watching, my girlfriend at home watching, Uncle Decker up in New York watching, my buddy Jason Rode watching it for his lunch break at work, and anybody else watching. Thank you guys.
We did see Jason here in the chat as well, and definitely a huge thanks to all of you for tuning in today. Certainly been looking forward to having this stuff back on the full force. But Colin, thank you very much, and congratulations on that third place.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Colin Denner, and I believe we should probably take second place next. We'll save the best till last. And ladies and gentlemen, Ken Housel, the Jammy Dodger Award, I think, today. And you've been able to get caught up with Rob Campbell.
Yeah, Ken, welcome in. We saw, for the most part, the three of you, DJ, yourself, and Colin Denner, were able to break away from the pack and kind of work together to open up a bit of a gap. And then talk about the last 10 minutes. So you really started to put a lot of pressure on the back of Colin Denner. Did you think if you were able to stay right tucked up tight on him, you were able to put enough pressure on to force him to stake and make that move?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. It's hard to say who had the best pace of the top three, but it was like I felt like I could be in the front, and I'm sure Colin felt like he could be in the front, and obviously DJ was in the front, and it's like, well, we're all just going to drive around and try to pressure each other. And like you said, it was just kind of cruising around for a while, like honestly kind of bored for a bit, like, okay, I'm just driving around. But then it was like, okay, let's put some pressure on Colin and see what happens. And gave him a couple little tiny boops, and then he finally just made a little mistake there on the last lap. And it's like, couldn't this happen earlier so I could try to keep up with DJ too?
Yeah, it was definitely, we were kind of watching back and forth at the packs and behind you. It looked like they would get organized a little bit and try and start to close down that gap a little bit, and then they'd start battling and fall back. But we only got, I believe, 2 weeks left in the season. The championship points are very tight at the top. How are you feeling about your chances to kind of move up to the top of the standings here, or is it going to be a real dogfight through the last couple races?
Yeah, I think tonight DJ wrapped up the championship because he had one drop and now he has all wins, I think. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be catchable, that's for sure. But going to try to hold on to second at least and see how the rest of the season goes. Really looking forward to particularly the last race, but next week Sebring should be really fun too. These things, this was the first track where the draft was really a big help, and next week it should be even more so. So
Yeah, Sebring will definitely be interesting with the tire or these cars being so loose in the back end. Really interesting to see how they handle through sunset. But we'll give you a moment here, Ken. Anybody you want to thank? I know normally we give a shout out to your wife, who seems to be a whole lot of support, but we'll give you the floor to do your work.
yeah, thanks guys. Thanks to everybody showing up. Another great turnout. Thanks to you guys for putting on a great broadcast. Can't wait to watch that at lunch tomorrow. And thanks to all of our region sponsors for helping support the series. And can't forget my wife, who's in the other room cheering me on. So thanks, Amy. Love you. And yeah, thank you guys.
Well, thanks, Ken, and hopefully you can continue the streak of good finishes next week as we head to Sebring. We'll talk to you then, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good one.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ken Housel, but we have managed to catch him this time round. Ladies and gentlemen, potentially your championship winner right now, Mr. DJ Alessandrini. Now, DJ, I got to ask, VIR, certainly, these guys kept you honest for quite a while. Is this not on your Princess approved track list, or certainly, did the guys really step it up this week and had some extra pace?
I think just this group in general, they tend to do VIR pretty well. I think it's just because it's probably on every single season that they've ran forever. So I think they're pretty well practiced on it. But this is one of my better tracks as well. So I think they were just doing a good job tonight.
Well, definitely, you know what, it's on my approved track list as well, and I can't fault them for running it. It really is a fantastic track. It's kind of got like the beautiful curves of Mount Panorama or Bathurst, depends on what you want to call it, but without the aggression, I think is a good way of putting it. Certainly, there's a little bit more forgiveness here at VIR, but DJ, certainly it's been an absolute belter. We're heading to Sebring next week. How do you feel about that track?
Yeah, I mean Sebring's it's like one of the iconic American tracks. It's really good. I wish iRacing played into the different pavements that are around the track. I think that adds a lot of character to the racetrack. But even in iRacing form, it's still it's just a real solid track. It's good fun.
Well, certainly with the Sebring 12-hour coming up very shortly in iRacing as well, and indeed in real life, certainly a good practice opportunity there. But certainly, I think that's going to be GT3, LMP2, and the LMP hybrids as well. So certainly some very different machinery here. But certainly laps is always a good thing. But DJ, I gotta say, an absolutely dominating race yet again. No one really able to challenge you for the lead. Just managed to apply a bit of pressure there, completely unfazed. With some of your real life experience potentially helping you here in the sim.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I would say that this the BMW drives like a fast street car on 200 treadwear tires, more than any other car in the sim. So that definitely comes in play, as most of my experience on a racetrack is in a 200 treadwear tire. So it just drives like one of them.
Well, I've got to say, if anybody at home is wondering which car to get behind the wheel of, that's probably the best advice I've heard in terms of, of a simulation, ladies and gentlemen, because that's real. As much as we'd all like to have GT3 cars, or in my case, a spec Ford, it's not necessarily attainable. So certainly the M2 getting a good review here from DJ Alessandrini. Well, I'll say an accurate review, but we'll put it like that, ladies and gentlemen. But DJ, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Nope, just thanks to Ken for organizing all this. Thanks to you guys for throwing the show.
Well, I can't say I'm very thankful WDCR actually took us on to have the show. And ladies and gentlemen, I certainly want to do even more of those. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your race winner, DJ Alessandrini. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Well, as we're going to bring this one to a close, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely, definitely been a Not my favorite show, I'll be honest. Obviously, the tech issues causing a little bit of frustration here in the commentary booth, and it's fair to say, you know what, we're going to be looking into that. Certainly, nothing's changed on our end, but I think it's maybe an external source that has, for lack of better words, bit the dust. So certainly, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back hopefully next week with back in full swing, back in full force. But it's been an absolute pleasure. We should probably just switch to the cameras very briefly. Rob, get your finger out your nose. That's just your chance, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. He's back. Like, I gotta say, look at him as well. He's got all that. He's even got a filter on, I'd say, ladies and gentlemen. He's he's Snapchat ready. But Rob Campbell, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely having an absolute belt of a time, I believe, in the commentary booth, albeit with I believe there's something on your chin there, sir, that I've not managed to master. But
that's your jealousy. That's what that is.
It is definitely my jealousy, ladies and gentlemen. But ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute belt. And certainly VIR, a very fun event. But honestly, I think Sebring is going to be even better. Certainly, with the Sebring 12 hour coming up in iRacing. And then not only that, it's quite a wide track. Them different services, as DJ was mentioning, certainly as you go around Sunset. So many different lines through that corner. And certainly as well, I do find as well, once you get an even more like a higher end wheelbase, I find you start to feel them surfaces even more. Certainly if you smack the curb with a DD, oh my gosh, do you know about it? So certainly it's going to be an interesting one there. Maybe it's a slightly different set of challenges. But Rob, as we head into Sebring, any thoughts from you on the matter?
Believe it or not, Zippy, but I actually know some people that despise Sebring. It's one of my more favorite tracks, but I know some guys that just hate it. They think it's over glorified American track, but it's one that I really like. But as I mentioned to Ken, it's going to be interesting to see how the M2 handles around there, as it can be a little tricky with the rear grip, and there's a couple corners, Sunset in particular, that it is so bumpy through there with the lack of real downforce on these cars. It'll be interesting to see if these guys have any issues heading through Sunset and if they have to battle the back end of the car.
Well, certainly I can imagine a couple of the left-right sections there where the weight is indeed going to get thrown around just before you head down that long straight before you get to Sunset. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into that, we should probably get a little bit of chat here about our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to give them a shout out. And let me see here. I've got the wrong tab up. So Rob, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start us off with OG Racing. They carry what you need to get it on the track, from driving suits and shoes to helmets and data video systems. Get your favorite brake pads from Performance Friction, Hawk, and Pagid. OG Racing has built its reputation over the last 22 years by providing the best customer service to the motorsports business. Their in-depth inventory is second to none when it comes to safety equipment, and that's why they've been the highest volume Farco distributor for 17 years. It's not just their website, but it's their Sterling, Virginia 12,000 square foot warehouse. That's OG Racing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's certainly, definitely got to have the good gear. And speaking of good gear, why not give Radial Tire Company a shout? Because they've been going since 1976, and they've been providing the Washington DC area, there we go, with quality tires and the finest service. And they've earned a reputation as a premier specialist in hard-to-find performance tire and wheel applications. Certainly, the guys with the Miata's probably running a 15-inch wheel and probably running at least a 245. Don't get me wrong, the more rubber, the better. You're probably going to want to speak to these guys because it can be quite difficult to get those 15-inch tires. But they stock tires from all of the top manufacturers for whatever you drive, from small economy cars to SUVs and trucks. Their mission is to assist you in getting the most out of your tires and your car.
And if you have trouble finding the right rubber with Radial Tire, just talk to Zippy. He knows all about rubber. I'll leave Belmont Classic Cars for you because I know you enjoy streaming or clicking through the website. So
Yep.
I'll pick up RP Performance. They're located in the heart of Summit Point's Gasoline Alley. RP is the only premier race car shop that specializes in both street and track Mazdas. RP Performance is known for its help and attitude and works at getting cars back on track for a positive experience at all Summit Point events. In its 30 years, RP has accrued many wins and championships within various classes with all age drivers under the RP Performance banner. In addition to track support and transport, RP is a full-service shop helping drivers with their individual racing and other track event needs. You can find them at 103 Gasoline Alley, Unit 12 at Summit Point, West Virginia.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Rob was indeed right. If you're looking for a classic car, you need to check out Belmont Classic Cars, and it's a family-owned classic car and collector car dealership located in Eastern Ohio, mainly specializing in the 60s and 70s American muscle cars. So as I take a quick look through the website right now, you got a 72 Chevy Malibu for sale with beautiful blue with 2 white stripes, only 30,000 miles on it. That's pretty incredible. That's basically a brand new car as far as I'm concerned. You got a 1964 Chevelle, so definitely a little bit more retro there. it's about another 8 years older, I guess. A 71 Nova if a two-door's your thing. And then, you know what? If you're looking for a new truck, why not get a 1949 Chevrolet 3100? You can sell it to your significant other as it's a practical use. And, you know, you need the practicality. You need to have that truck bed. That's how I would certainly swing it. If not, potentially begging for forgiveness is another option. But they take pride in taking you back to a simpler time with iconic classic cars. And they started in 2017 and sold cars across the USA and indeed globally, ladies and gentlemen. So owners Andy and Dana Mistak come by the love of cars naturally, both their fathers being avid car enthusiasts. It's exactly what you want. But certainly, I do find sometimes if you've got an enthusiast, good luck trying to get the car from them, ladies and gentlemen. They don't necessarily want to let it go, but hey, they are a dealership. And outside of a family business, the entire family has been race involved, from motocross, trophy trucks, and to new endeavor of road racing. With WDCR being such a welcoming group, they've decided to continue the support of the organization, and they're very grateful to have the honor to sponsor such a great community, as indeed we're honored as well to have you guys here on Pit Road Productions. But ladies and gentlemen, a huge thanks to the sponsors there. Absolutely could not do it without them. And again, a huge thank you to all the drivers who took part, everybody in the chat as well. We need to think of a catchphrase for the helmet squad, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, have a think about that, chat. That's a mission for you, I think, to find out what we're going to name the helmet feature that seems to have graced these broadcasts the last few weeks, and certainly something I'm looking forward to as well. And again, a huge thank you as well to Ken Housel for organising it. But ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be all from us. Rob, any final thoughts?
No, I'm looking forward to seeing how the championship battle boils down the last couple of races, and hopefully we'll see yours truly, Daniel Zippy, on track for the finale so we can poke fun at him. But it should be a good couple weeks in this one.
Well, as Rob was saying, I do indeed know a lot about rubber, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll say, I used to be a mechanic, so how about that, ladies and gentlemen? But take that however you want to do it. Certainly, Pit Road Productions, when I think about what defines us as a broadcaster, honestly, I think humor is probably the biggest reason, and certainly the involvement with the community as well. But we're going to wrap it up from here. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name has, and I guess always will be, Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the commentary booth, ladies and gentlemen, Rob the Goatee Campbell, and I think we may have got his nickname, ladies and gentlemen, the Goats. But that's going to be it from us here today. Thank you very much. And actually, let me think. We're going to be back tomorrow for the Radical Academy. It's going to be back tomorrow night. Wednesday night, I believe we're off this week, but I think that's going to be quite a quiet week this week. But ladies and gentlemen, we got more coming, including the Almeida Academy. Actually, Thursday night, we have a new GT3 and LMP Hybrid League coming, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who's going to be joining me on that one. It may be Rob. It may indeed be the one and only Mr. Richard Swindells. But certainly keep your eyes out on that Thursday at 8:55 Eastern. But again, that's all from me. Thank you very much. And we're going to see you we'll see you later in the week, but we'll see you back for WDCR in 1 week's time.